It is now my absolute pleasure to introduce someone who needs no introduction, is a wonderful friend of the conference. Kat Satterley is the program specialist for staff well-being, which we continue to find just an incredible topic, something that we all continue to come back to, just wanting to see more of, seeing it work in practice. What are the things that we can glean? Kat is at the Orange County Department of Education. She provides support for schools and districts that want to improve the physical, social, and emotional health of staff members. She builds the capacity of wellness teams, providing tools and resources and trainings that support staff-selected wellness goals. Kat is a 30-year veteran of education, having taught in New York and Miami, and also served in Washington, D.C. as a district administrator. It's shocking because she's nowhere near that old. Kat was also was a high school and college athletics coach, as well as a certified life coach and wellness policy consultant. Her journey in education is founded on passion for health and wellness for all. Coach Kat Sat, get up here. We want to welcome you, and we always look forward to learning from you. Please help me welcome Kat Sat up to the stage. You get the clicker. There you are, my dear. And let's do that. I hear we're going to get moving, so y'all better get ready. There you go.
Not yet, not yet. Good morning. I feel like I need to take a deep breath. Maybe you could do that with me. How about one more? Good night. Framework to flourishing. So much work we have to do, right? I'm very excited to share with you today the incredible work that we've been doing in Orange County over the last couple of years. Actually, this work started before I got there. My wonderful supervisor, Doreen, started the work with a grant from Kaiser Permanente, and I would be remiss if I did not say thank you, Kaiser Permanente, for the really generous funding that they've provided for us to do this work. So we're going to talk a little bit about the framework. I know last year we talked about the framework. We're going to touch on it again this year, but I want to talk about the results also. That's really the highlight for me. Do I know how to use this thing? So today we'll talk a little bit about the why, right? The research behind staff well-being and its impact on whole child health. We will explore the Thriving Schools Initiative framework. So Kaiser Permanente brands it as Thriving Schools. We brand it as OCDE, Staff Wellbeing. But I wanted to give the credit where the credit is due. Really, they came up with the assessment and many of the resources, though we are creating resources, and our other partner in this work is the Alliance for a Healthier Generation, my former employer. And we use those to support schools and districts through their journey for staff well-being. So they have created this beautiful framework and continuous improvement process that we use. And then the how, right? Well, today we'll discover practical strategies and resources to implement in your school or district. So what I'd like to do is just start us off today with a strategy that we use. So when I go in and I do these wonderful trainings, we do a lot around mindfulness. And if you don't like to call it mindfulness, you can call it conscious presence, or you could just call it like pure relaxation or being in the moment, whatever you're comfortable with. But let's just take a moment to be mindful. So if you're comfortable, close your eyes or lower your gaze. Just get your feet on the ground and kind of get comfy in your chair and check yourself, check your body, check your mind. Where are you holding some tension right now? Are you holding tension? What is swimming around in your mind right now? Just take a moment to observe those thoughts. And again, let's take a nice, slow, deep breath in. Breathe it all the way down into the bottom of your belly. And then exhale completely. And again, observing the thoughts that are going through the movie screen of your mind. Just detach from them. Again, just being fully present in the moment. And again, take a nice deep breath into your belly. And exhaling completely. And take a moment to just clear your mind and think about what you want to gain from this day. Why is staff well-being important to you? So I want you to open your eyes and just take a moment to jot down what brought you here today. Do you have specific challenges related to staff well-being that exist in your school, your community, or in your organization? You think about it. If you have a pen and paper, jot it down, or you put in your notes on your phone. It's always good to write it. When we say it, when we declare it, we own it, we make it real. So why are you here? Did you just come for good coffee, good company, a day off, day away from the office? All of it's good. We're here together. Why is staff well-being a topic that you're interested in? What challenges related to staff well-being exist? And then when you're ready, when you've got a sentence or two written down, just turn to the folks at your table and share. We'll take a few minutes to just share why we're here and why staff well-being is appealing to you. Go ahead. Chat away. Thirty more seconds. Okay. I am the kind of person that will just select people to share out, but I will ask for volunteers first. Do I have any volunteers? Do I have any volunteers that would like to share what they shared at the table today? Any volunteers? Any volunteers? Any volunteers like to share out why they're here? All right. Well, you just got off the hook, I tell you. Okay. All right, we'll let you go next here. Okay.
So we were just discussing, we are very excited to hear what you have to say because our staff are so stressed that it's spilling out into other things. And staff wellness is something that I have been thinking about a lot. And I'm a new supervisor of the health services, so I really need to know what you have to say.
Okay. I have lots to share. Okay. Would you like to share?
Can you tell I'm the one that got in trouble for talking in school? I talked about we're gonna do an activity with our team. I'm from behavioral wellness with our managers and leaders around stressors and how to navigate. So I'm really excited to hear and learn some tools to take back to the teams. And we talked about what you just said, increased stressors, demands, workload, and the constant changes are really, really impacting our staff, our leaders, and how we can support our leaders with navigating stress so that they can support the staff who are helping our community members, whether that's youth and family members, parents. And so I'm excited to take back some tools.
To deliver today, huh? Okay, well, proof is in the pudding. We'll show you what we got. So, like any other program, it has to be done with fidelity. However, you can kind of start wherever you want, just get started. But when we do this work with fidelity, authenticity, and intentionality, we know that it works. And kind of just like any other programming. But what's really amazing about this is that we are changing the hearts and minds of people. That is what this work is. We're changing mindsets. We're moving into growth mindset. We're helping people to learn how to manage their stress, how to regulate themselves, how to regulate their students, right? But it takes some learning and some practice. And, you know, the little mindfulness practice that we did, and I know that not everybody, again, is comfortable with that. Mindfulness or silent reflection is really the basis of building your emotional intelligence. And that's kind of also what all of this work is about. So we'll talk a little bit about, you know, self-awareness and self-management as we move through this in our other presentation later on this afternoon. So why focus on this, right? Because a school's greatest strength is its people. This is a people business. Yeah, we have great curriculum. Yeah, we have these great resources. We have money. We have this. We have that. Maybe you're even redesigning your school and doing project-based learning or all these wonderful things, but it's the people. The people are doing the work. And we're not just doing paperwork. We are influencing little people. So it's our greatest strength, and we have to take care of the people. Teacher burnout rates, 2022 Gallup study, staggering. Almost half of K-12 teachers report experiencing burnout either always or very often. Elevated stress levels, RAND study found that teachers are twice as likely to report frequent job-related stress compared to other working adults. We have the toughest job. Teacher turnover. 16% of public school teachers leave the profession each year, significantly impacting school stability. It's impacted my program. My project leads, I have 3 schools where my project leads turned over. They're either somewhere else or they left the profession. Impact on student incomes. Furthermore, numerous 2024 studies have established a direct correlation between high teacher burnout rates and lower student academic performance. We have got to take care of our teachers. Ultimately, and I'm sorry, I do this all the time, I say teachers, everybody in the school is a teacher. So that's the nurses, that's the paras, that's the people who are in the front office, everybody. Students will not be able to perform well if they're in an environment that's negative and full of stress and full of negative energy. We've got to figure out how to shift that. The research tells us if we do, can I have somebody read this? Academic and behavioral impact.
Higher staff well-being directly improves student behavior and academic achievement by creating more supportive learning environments and increasing student engagement.
Well-focused professional development reduces stress, burnout, and turnover while boosting job performance and instructional quality.
Do trainings that are focused on well-being. Over here, get someone else. Third one.
Staff wellness is contagious, fueling a collaborative, positive school climate with greater morale, productivity, and commitment while reducing absenteeism.
Emotions are contagious. I'm going to have you guys get up right now and do a little activity. You ready for that? We're going to see how contagious emotions are. Stand up, get a partner, stand and look at your partner. I was going to do this later, but I want to do it now because I like it. Okay. First of all, introduce yourself if you don't know each other, obviously. I'm sure you already did that. Okay? Now, just look at your partner and smile. Okay, now I'm feeling even better. Okay, now the challenge commences. Now you're going to count to 3. If Aaron is my partner, I say 1, Aaron says 2, I say 3. 1, 3. 2, 1, 3. 2, 1, 3. Okay? So 1, 2, 3 continuously. So you'll be shifting numbers, okay? Okay, good. We have some professionals. I'm starting to see people giggle because we're like, 2. All right. So instead of doing 1 now, you are going to clap. Clap. 2, 3. 2, 3. 2, 3. Go. All right, we've got patty cake going on over here. Okay, good job. I think you're ready for the next challenge. All right. Now there's no more 2 now. Now 2 is snap. So clap, snap, 3. Clap, snap, 3. Ready, go. All right, wow. This group is advanced. You are advanced. What I love is I watch people go like,
oh no, wait, you're supposed to clap now. You're supposed to clap.
Okay, 1, 2, so we have clap, snap, stomp. So now no talking. Clap, snap, stomp. 1, 2, 3, go. All right, I'm gonna give you a break. Now you've created all this beautiful emotional resonance, right? We're happy, we're smiling, we're having fun together, right? So now, just go back to 1, 2, 3 and see how easy it is. 1, 2, 3, go ahead. All right. Good job, everybody. Give yourselves a hand. Well done. Later on, we'll talk a little bit. We're going to play later on. We'll talk more about the importance of play. Okay. Now, we talked about some of the reasons why we're here, right? And maybe some of you said, well, because my staff is so stressed out, or people are so negative, or there's so much conflict, Everybody's stressed out, burnt out, the kids are crazy, right? I mean, these things are just all true. They're part of our reality in being education. But I also know that you have strengths that exist in your organization, your school or district. And you can come from a context of whatever is comfortable for you. If you're obviously in a school and working with students and your colleagues, then that's who you're going to want to reflect on. If you're with an organization, you could think about your own staff within that organization, or you can think about the schools that you're supporting. That's up to you, whatever is most relevant for you. So what are the current strengths in your school or organization related to staff well-being? Are you doing some things currently? What can you build on? Do you have a gratitude practice? Do you have a walking club? Right? We'll talk about those things. What are some of the most significant challenges that your staff faces? Maybe you mentioned it when you said why you're here today, but I want you to think about what are some of the most significant challenges that you face. And I'm not necessarily talking about dysregulated students here, but also just staff to staff, right? What's happening between staff members or staff and administration, right? We often work in schools and they're like, well, the principal, blah, 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 right? They're frustrated. They don't have a relationship with their administrator, and that can be very problematic. It hurts the morale. And then how do these factors impact your organizational culture and work, if you're with an organization, or student outcomes? So I'm going to leave this up. So this is what we're going to discuss at our tables. But let's break into just two groups. So either with a partner, groups of, we've got 6 here, maybe 3 and 3 here. If you have just 2 or 3 or 4 at your table, stay together. But just so that we get more airtime, okay, as individuals. So with a partner, a group of 3 at your table, let's address these questions, okay? I'm going to give you a few minutes to do that, and we'll take a few shares. Thank you. Any questions? Check for understanding. Okay, great. Yeah, what are your current strengths around staff well-being? Most significant challenges your staff face? How does it impact your culture? Again, don't forget to mention how do these factors impact the culture? How might they impact student outcomes? Okay, 30 more seconds. I want to hear that. I'm just teasing you. Yeah, let's do that. No, it's okay. No, I think you should share. Yeah, I think you guys should share. Yeah, yeah. Why not? Yeah, I think we're focusing on your strengths, right? Yeah. Okay. Can I get a what? What? Can I get a whoop whoop? Okay. Can I get a? Okay. We have our fabulous Snap Ed team here. Let's give it up for Snap Ed. Whoop, whoop. All right, they're gonna share, and then someone else is gonna share next.
All right, so as a lot of you might know, SNAP-Ed is defunded. So there's a little bit difference going on in here, but we do want to talk about our strengths. We're a really close-knit team. We communicate really well and work really well together. And we have that space where we're able to talk to our supervisors and really communicate what's going on, and they've been sharing out a lot of everything that's happening, even though there's a lot of uncertainty right now. And number two, our significant challenge is our jobs, or lack thereof, and sitting in that uncertainty of what's gonna happen next. So right now, the culture of our team is kind of this unknown cloud going on, but we're still a really strong group. We make time to meet together. We have lunch together, all of that kind of stuff, and really communicate. Even from higher ups coming from state and stuff, they've been really informative to us, even though there's so much uncertainty.
Let's give it up for our Snap Ed team. Don't worry. Everything's going to turn out great.
I want to thank Doug. He educated me, so we sort of big, beautiful bill ties in well, which is something I should have assumed and didn't, which is well-being is being impacted tremendously right now by political division. And I want to thank you for the way that you framed it. You said from the bottom to the top, from the administrators all the way to the students. And I loved that framing, but I think it helps us understand that well-being is more than potentially nutrition and physical activity, but it's around psychological safety. And so appreciate the district and the superintendent at Lompoc Unified for creating a culture and working to create a culture. It's an ongoing challenge to allow for dialogue that is healthy and disagreeing that is healthy. I think a lot of us aren't taught that skill. And so maybe some of the professional development could be around those skills and how that ultimately impacts mental health and well-being.
One more? Yeah, give it up. Give it up. Everybody loves a little clap. How about over here? Someone at this table? Would you like to share? No? Okay, here I come. I'm still coming. Anybody else? How about over here? Yeah, you can pass. Come on, everybody was just chatting away. I'm unrelenting. I'm going to keep walking around until somebody says, "Give me the mic, Kat." See? She's my friend, I paid her.
I think we were just talking about, again, the importance of well-being for staff, just finding the time to encourage people to, focus a little bit on themselves, especially with teachers, because they're always focusing on their students. And so just finding that time barrier, trying to overcome that. We were just talking about how we can do that.
Time. We got to make the time. It's that important. It's more important than a lot of things, right? Because we can't teach well, and students can't learn unless we're regulated. Our brains get stuck in the amygdala, right? We're having a response that is a natural response, right? Stress response. And when you're in that amygdala, you cannot access your prefrontal cortex for higher functioning. Students can't either. So we get stuck in this very emotional state of being, and it really impedes our progress. What gets measured gets managed, but what gets talked about gets addressed. We said dialogue. We have to have healthy dialogue about this. To go back to your organizations, to your schools, to your districts, and start the conversation. And then you could tell them that I have a framework that I could use. We have an assessment that's really easy. It really doesn't take that much time. And I can walk you through it. This is what we do. We have some grant funding, so we grant $3,000 or more to 15 schools in 8 different districts. But we also offer universal support. So, that funding goes to Title I schools. We also offer universal support for anyone that wants it. Now, they can't usually get trainings from me because I just don't have the capacity to support everyone. I am a kind of a one-woman team. I mean, I have lots of support from Doreen, and Allison and I collaborate a lot, but it's pretty much me out there doing the training. So we offer this universal support. So we put some tools and resources in the hands of people. I will consult with them to let them know, walk them through, this is how you use the dashboard. This is what you can do. Here are some examples. Here are some resources. Now, you're going to get a QR code at the end here that's going to send you to a folder that's going to have all these resources in them so that you can do this. And if you're confused, you can just give me a holler and we can get on a call and I can walk you through it. So you can get this started in your organization. So we just have an introductory meeting, right? They connect with me. We might review some data. They may have already done the assessment. We'll review that data, or they'll review some school climate data. We might even talk about staff absenteeism or morale. We can also talk a little bit about student data, right? Because there's a correlation between what's happening with staff and students. So we go through some data and then we'll explore, the guidance that we offer and then generate some initial ideas. And so, I do ask them to create that free Healthier Generation account and also recruit interested colleagues to be on the well-being committee. If schools don't have a healthy schools committee or a wellness committee, you need one. We are here to address 20 minutes. We are here to address, I need an hour, whole child health, right? So everybody that represents that at the school level should be there at those meetings. And then they're following the 6-step process, right? This is an evidence-based, tried and true, proven continuous improvement process created by Healthier Generation 15 years ago. They've been using it for a long time. It's pretty simple. But how simple is it to build support? How simple is it to build buy-in and build a team to actually have an initiative work? But you've got lots and lots of research that supports it. It's just like, we've known forever that if you do physical activity, there's a positive direct correlation between physical activity and academic performance. Why aren't we doing it? Why aren't kids moving more? Why aren't staff moving more? We have to fix that. Build support. And then we do a quick assessment, right? It's offered on the Healthier Generation dashboard. It's 15 questions related to staff well-being. You're going to see some of the topics of those questions in a second. And then you're going to develop an action plan. You need an action plan guide? I got one for you. I already have all of the practices on a guide listed out, potential implementation strategies, a few resources. You take what you like, you delete the rest, you put your own action steps in there, but use the template. It's yours to use. And then exploring resources. So what are your resources? Do you have a yoga instructor in your building? Do you have a PE teacher that teaches aerobics on the side, right? That can maybe do this work? Do you have somebody that does sound healing and can do a sound healing for your school? Okay, or for your district, right? Let's not forget that this is not just for schools. This is for everybody. I talk to district people and they're like, yeah, we need to do this and do this. But why don't you try it? Why don't we do it here? That way that you can have the experience and change the way you feel and feel good and realize that this is really going to help people at the school level. And then taking action, of course, get in there and do the work, and then celebrating success, right? So Healthier Generation also has an award program. Aaron's district, there's a school that got an award there. Anybody else apply for the Healthier Generation, America's Healthiest School Award? Well, you should. You can do this work, and actually there's other areas of whole child health that you can get awarded in. So just check that out. It's on their website. So we want to celebrate every approximation towards the goal. So building support, we're going to talk a little bit more about this tomorrow too, but it like any initiative, right, you have to have that proper support and buy-in. You have to recruit diverse people to come to the table and connect well-being to existing priorities and initiatives, right? If you go to the principal and you just say, hey, we just want to do this, say because XYZ, here's all the research, and the staff wants it, and it aligns with these goals. You can attach well-being goals to just about anything. It may not be like this perfect, direct thing, but we're just basically talking about people doing new things, people performing well, better, learning new things. So if their well-being is enhanced, it's always going to make things better. Right? And then securing leadership endorsement and active participation. The principals that were activated and were engaged, but also empowered their staff to do this work, they're the ones that crushed it. I mean, and they really crushed it. The schools, people were like really happy to come to work. Who says that in the school building anymore? People were really happy and excited to come to work. So it makes a difference. We're going to talk for a minute in our groups quickly about the barriers, right? Time is a barrier. We don't have time for one more thing. How might you address the perception that well-being initiatives add to the workload rather than alleviating it? This feels like a passing fad. Well, how can you demonstrate that staff well-being is a fundamental priority, not just a temporary trend? Only a few people will participate. Well, what strategies could increase engagement across diverse staff groups with different needs and interests? I'm going to have you guys talk about this at your tables for just a minute, and then I'll address it. But I want you to just pick one of these. Pick one of these at your table. We don't have time. Feels like a fad. Only a few people will participate. And then answer those questions underneath, okay? We're going to give you a few minutes for that. Go ahead. And we're going to share out again. Ha. Don't I have an hour and 10 minutes? So you taking my 10
I
minutes
took
away?
your 10 minutes away.
All right, 10 seconds to find all of the solutions to all of these problems. Can I get a wood? Can I get a whoop, whoop? Okay. Can this table share with me right now? Can you guys share? Okay. All right, we're going to listen to some shares now. Oh, here's all the solutions.
Not all the solutions, but we talked about starting small. So we kind of talked about not having time to do things, and it doesn't have to be a big, grand gesture. But like we referenced that activity we did earlier, that was maybe 2-3 minutes, and it got us all laughing and connected. And then we also talked about only a few will participate, and we kind of said, if you build it, they will come. Start small, and emotions are contagious. If people see your small group having fun, they'll want to join a friend. So that's kind of what we talked about.
You did have them. Let's give her a hand. That was good stuff. Thank you for this whole table. Thank you. Anybody else? Anyone? All right. I love volunteers. Yes.
So I work for the city of Santa Maria, and our issue is always time because we're only allotted so many hours per fiscal year for our staff to work. So a lot of that is already subjugated to programming, and we have to shut down programs in order to do training, which is super important. So the solution that I was talking about is that doing a calendar, a training calendar, and getting it pre-approved by our manager. So it's like already out there, it's already approved. We don't have to continuously ask for permission every single time to shut down a program. It's just already done. And then maybe doing pocket trainings where it's like only 1 hour and it's something specific. Because we have the lovely opportunity of working with the workforce now that has graduated from high school during COVID. And we're teaching them to regulate their own emotions before they can work with children's emotions. And it's been quite the challenge, and even when they're talking to each other. So they don't know how to have healthy conflict. What is it? Period? Is that what they're saying now? Period. They don't know how to do healthy conflict. And it's just been, you're working with the staff first before they can work with the kids and teach them how to be healthy when they talk to each other when there's a conflict. So working with people like Calm that talk about trauma, that talk about how to regulate your own emotions would be a good pocket training for us.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you very much. Lots of solutions out there, right? Would you like to share? Here you go. Yeah. Do it.
Mine was, we were focusing on the wellness of the staff, and so we were brainstorming ideas, and one of the ideas was to have do a physical activity with the staff. And she said, well, because I teach PE, well, how would you feel about if you were leading, but you weren't relaxing and that kind of thing? And so I said, well, then I would orchestrate, have a masseuse come in, or soak our feet in hot water, or moving, dancing, as part of calming down and wellness for the staff, so that we could feel joyous and in our career.
When you said you were a PE teacher, you just seen Allison's face light up. She was like, my people. You're my people too. I taught PE for 18 years. Good stuff. Thank you for that. We got to talk about it, right? Because every group, every school has its own thing going on, right? So how do we make the time? One of the things I always say is that, people want to work. They want to work through the night. It's like, no, stop, take a break, de-stress, relax, so you can actually be at 100% productivity versus 50%. Don't send that email out at midnight when it takes you 20 minutes to craft it. It'll take you 3 minutes in the morning when your brain's awake, right? So in terms of being an individual and making time for sort of that self-care, that's one thing. And then in making sure that we're embedding staff well-being practices and not saying, oh, this is an add-on and this is something else we have to have find time for. No, do these little games at the beginning of your staff meetings. Have little getting to know you activities at every department meeting, right? Talk about stress and introduce activities. I'm going to show you in a little bit what some of our schools have done. It's just been incredible. Feels like a passing fad. It will. If you just do one little thing and you don't figure out how to embed it, right? And you stop talking about it, it'll feel like a fad. So you just have to keep going with it. And only a few people will participate, build it, and they will come. They will. Sometimes it starts out with a few, but then they're like, oh, a walking club is so fun, and we got these pins or t-shirts or whatever, and now everybody wants to do it. Oh, now let's invite that kid that we're having trouble with to walk with the teacher in the morning. Let's invite that parent to do a walk with us. This is happening. It's happening in schools, and it's really changing relationships. It's all good stuff. So 2 of the top goals, the 2 top choices. So one of the big things is that, we do this assessment, so the school tells us this is what we're doing, this is what we're not doing, and then we send a survey to the staff. And the staff says, this is what we want to do. So I take all that information, I sprinkle some dust on it, I call upon my unicorn, and we come up with these goals that are listed on the assessment, right? So these are the things you're not doing, and this is what your staff is saying we want to focus on. This is one of the top ones. Most popular goals is about offering continuous professional learning that's available for all staff and inclusive of content on self-care, boundaries, and stress management. All right, so top 3. Right? Stress management is really the one that stands out to them the most. Right? We've already said everybody is so stressed out, they don't know what to do. I'm also hearing it already, and school just started. Align with school improvement efforts and job embedded with coaching support. So we work on this. So some of the implementation strategies, right? I come and I do that professional learning for them. So we have an hour, sometimes if I'm lucky, they give me 2 hours, and we do a really fun training. We get up, we have table talk like this, we play, and then they get a feeling. They get a feeling and they say, wow, we want this. And then guess what? The project leads or the principals, they got to keep it going. You got to keep it going. You can't be like, oh, well, we'll do something else in December, and it's now September. No, you need to do something next month. Do something, anything. Give them a PDF resource for their meeting. Give them a link to one of the trainings called Filling Your Cup, Comprehensive Self-Care for Educators. That's free on the Healthier Generation website. It's just an e-learning. It's really fun to go through. Give yourself some strategies. Reflect on your own behavior and your own feelings, right? So following up those learning modules, monthly reflection worksheets and self-assessments, and then peer coaching and accountability partnerships. I always encourage people, so maybe at the end of the training I say, okay, we've talked about stress management strategies, healthy boundaries, and some self-care. So can you find one way and one new strategy to engage in for stress management? One new boundary that you can create that's going to be good for you. And one new self-care practice. It can be little. It could be so little. It could be as little as, I'm going to put lotion on my hands when I get in the car because my hands are so dry. Like just self-care, little things, right? It doesn't have to be like, I'm going to start a yoga class and go every, 3 nights a week. Second most popular goal, Allison, physical activity people in the house, right? Physical activity programs for staff. They want to move. They want to get up and move. They want to have opportunities on school campus. The number one choice, because we list things like yoga, aerobics, walking, intramurals, lots of different things, and then they vote. And of course, number one, because it's most accessible really, and people are already doing it, is walking clubs. So do an official walking club. Make it official, make it exciting, get people to recruit other people. Maybe you give them a little, they can join an opportunity drawing if they bring a friend, right? You have somebody bring some healthy snacks or coffee or juice or something for afterwards, whatever. Dangle some carrots, right? But you do need project leads. You need champions for this. So, but if they have the framework in their hands, they're going to be more likely to do it. Before and after, lots of schools have, I keep turning my back to you, I'm sorry. Lots of schools have, like I said earlier, yoga instructors on staff, and they get excited. They're more than willing. They're like, yeah, I would love to teach yoga once a month. And yoga can be done. I teach yoga at the beginner level, like a little yin yoga, just a breathe, some stretching, maybe a couple poses, right? That's fun and it's easy, accessible for everyone. And you could do chair yoga. Buy some posters from Amazon that show you how to do chair yoga. Put it up in the staff lounge. Put a chair right there. How about that? Pretty easy stuff. Okay. And then, of course, you could do step challenges and things like that. You have to do it with consistency and intentionality. It should be inclusive and accessible. So we always ask on those surveys, does anybody need an accommodation for any of these things that you see on the survey or any activities? And then you have to continue to make sure that you ask those questions. Staff driven. The staff does the survey. Those are the goals that they pick. They get to choose. They should be in charge. Now, the school that I've had that's had the most success in this program is where the principal said, I want your voice. I want you to do all of this. And people just jumped up to do it. She said, okay, well, here's this resource to help you do it. Here's this resource. Let's build this beautiful staff lounge. They brought in stuff from, grandma's garage to make their lounges more palatable, less industrial. Doesn't look like a school anymore. It has a rug, has a lamp, has a divider, has a little nook where you could go sit and meditate and put some headphones on. All right, we're going to see a picture of that in just a second. Right here. Okay, this is where we got to pull that. Dun, dun, dun. It's creeping in. There it is. Okay, you can go ahead and scroll down. Yeah, keep going until we get to, oh yeah. So one thing that we did, just real quick, is the Staff Wellbeing Leadership Symposium last year. We had a one-day conference. So I invited a couple of keynotes. We had Mars Wellness was there. They did yoga. They did sound bath. They did some mindfulness stuff. We had a couple speakers, and we did breakouts. We had nature walks. We had journaling. It was great. It was the first thing. We barely marketed it. We had over 100 people show up, and we're going to do it again this year. We're really excited about it. So it's growing, and this was something that really helped people to gain some strategies to do it in their schools. You can keep scrolling. We'll show them what the schools did. So we also partnered with a district. So if there's district people in here, we did some work with the district nutrition lead at Huntington Beach Union High School District with their mood boost programming. So they partner with Chartwell, and they get these booths that say mood boost, and they make an association here, it's just hard to see, sorry, between food and mood, right? So they have these icons that they use, and for strong, they have, beef. It maximizes oxygen intake for optimal physical performance. Alert, raspberries, important for memory, awareness, and learning. Calm, dark leafy greens, nourish the nervous system to reduce anxiety, so on and so forth. So not only is it nutrition education for students, but we gave them some funding so that they could buy a booth and go do this with the adults on Wellness Wednesdays in the student wellness lounges. So the teachers got to have some parfaits. And go ahead and just scroll down a little bit for me, John, underneath these great photos. These are staff members. And one of the things that a staff member said is somehow at that date and time, my parfait was magical. It was a clean and refreshing treat in the midst of a day filled with high school drama. It is astonishing how that simple act reset my emotional balance and put me back on track to not only deal with situations, but actually enjoy doing my job. Thanks for the break and the parfait. She did not get paid to say that. And there were a few more testimonials that came out of that experience. So even something as little as that, right? And they got to kind of explore how food can affect their mood. Go ahead and scroll up for me some more. Thank you. This is at middle school. They held a pickleball tournament. This is the principal. A bunch of teachers participated. Teachers that did not want to play were invited to go observe, and they sat and had some snackies. And the kids came and cheered on their favorite teachers. So it was a big event. People got some physical activity. It inspired more people to get involved and, of course, helped to build relationships. When that kid was walking down the hall and be like, "Oh, miss, I saw you play a pickleball. You stink," right? But it was really fun. It was a great event. Go ahead and scroll up some more here. In Westminster High School, they had this dirty lounge that was outside. It was a courtyard. They just had a plant in it that was dying. It was filthy, and they didn't use it for anything. Only teachers can access that lounge. So we built an outdoor lounge with tables and umbrellas, and 2 teachers, art teachers on the weekend, came on their own time with their own money, purchased paint, and painted this beautiful mural. Now, you can't quite see all of it, unfortunately, but there were butterflies and flowers and smiley faces, and then they wrote, "Your impact is endless," right? So it's a really beautiful lounge. They love it. It makes a difference. It lets them escape and have a break for even 10 minutes during the day where they are totally detached from the kids, from the building, and they get to refresh their energy. Go ahead and go up some more. Thank you, John. Viejo Elementary, they branded. They did their own branding. They created this little logo for their wellness program. They did all of these flyers to get people to come, right? They created a calming corner in the lounge. They didn't have a big lounge, but so they just took a corner and made it really special. They did fun activities at lunch, some drawing. They did a training on essential oils. There was somebody on staff that really loves the essential oil thing. So they came and did a little training and smelled the oils and did some blending. Everybody loved it. And now they're smelling their oils and it's helping them stay calm. They're like, "Give me that lavender." They need that during the day, right? Okay, let's scroll up again. And Fountain Valley High School, same thing. They also did, a lot of people did pickleball, right? I mentioned the idea and it flew. So these guys did a pickleball tournament as well, really exciting. And they did something as simple as they just took all the staff's photos and they did birthday celebrations. So they have the pictures up on the wall with the birthdays, and then they have the bulletin board. And when it's their actual birthday, their picture gets to be up on the bulletin board. Everybody knows. Everybody gets their happy birthday. She bought a stack of cards, birthday cards, so that when it's your birthday, you get a birthday card signed by the staff. Simple. Makes people feel good. Keep going. Walter Elementary School, right? And she took over really late, but boy, she just took it and ran. She did such a great job. And they started a little walking club, and they made pins. Walter's Walking Club. Soulmates, S-O-L-E mates. How cute is that, right? So they did a walking club, and that was really successful for them. She also did a lounge. They have a big room as their dedicated lounge. Go ahead up. We have Tustin High School here, also engaged in the pickleball, and did gratitude gourds in the fall. So they had succulents, they got little gourds, they made these things, and they offered them to each other as gratitude gourds. Beautiful. Next one. Kenosha Elementary School. This is really the school that we've really seen the most impact. Absolutely phenomenal. We actually did a ribbon cutting ceremony for them. And Doreen was there, actually, and our executive director was there to support, which was really wonderful. But you could see, this is not a new couch or table or lamp, right? That's from Grandma's garage. People brought stuff in, and 2 teachers really took the lead on it, and everybody brought things in. And then they also bought a couple of these like little mini treadmills, their running pads, because physical activity was their second goal. They bought some physio balls and some dumbbells that they keep in there. And now when the first time I ever walked in there was the speech pathologist on the walking pad, hi, with a big smile on her face. So, and then I interviewed a few people while we were there after the ribbon cutting, and how much they loved, and how much they loved the lounge, and how much it made a difference. And to just go get 10 minutes of exercise, which was really, really wonderful. How am I doing on time here? Tick-tock, tick-tock, 40, okay. Okay, keep going. And then we had another walking club here, and they did a scavenger hunt. So they did their walking club, but then they had all of these little things kind of hidden around, and they had to do a scavenger hunt, which was really just made it fun, and more people participated, right? And they had an opportunity drawing afterwards. Keep going. And then La Quinta High School, this is the last one. We'll go to that one too. look into high school. I just threw some of the items that we got for their little lounge that is in the office, and this was really made for classified staff, right? They had this kind of grungy little coffee area, so we did this cute little mid-century modern theme with coffee and lemons, and they loved it. They loved it, and it really just makes people feel really good, gives them a place to escape. And then the last thing is that Fountain Valley High School had a pet therapy day. I should have the dog here right now. My dog's with me. She could be running around here making everybody smile. In the wellness area, they had pet therapy dogs. They brought some dogs in that were calm and that would chill, and there were a bunch of dogs in that room, and teachers could come in and out and just go pet the dogs, and she took videos, she posted on Instagram, and it was really, really special, and everybody had a wonderful time. So just these quick little feel-goods, you just stopped in to say hi and pet the dogs, and people left with these massive smiles on their faces. Beautiful stuff. Okay, let's go just quick back to the PowerPoint. And I'm going to whip through the last several slides here because I'm only just a couple of seconds over. You were supposed to give me 10 more minutes. All right, we'll just go quick over program impact. Key findings. 88% of respondents indicated that well-being activities had a positive impact on their overall well-being. They described increased connection to their colleagues as the main impact, regardless of the well-being program's specific focus. Across all respondents, 75% reported a positive change in behavior or knowledge acquisition, while only 25% clicked none. 85% of respondents felt their school supported their well-being. Overall, 88% responded positively regarding the impact on staff relationships, overall culture, and capacity to serve students. We'll break that down here. 75% indicated that they feel more connected to other staff. 72% indicated that the well-being practices enhanced their school culture. 68% indicated their capacity to serve students increased. Teachers were less likely to report this as a change in capacity. We weren't expecting this number to be high. I was pleasantly surprised with that number because we're just getting started. Could you imagine after 4 years what that's going to look like? I hope it says 100%. And only 60% indicated improved connection to school administrators. Well, what does that data tell us? School administrators need to be more engaged. So those are the things that we're going to work on, obviously. Main barrier was not really time. It was underlying unresolved site-level issues such as trust, safety within the school culture, and relationships with administration. And most comments, we had a final open-ended question, expressed gratitude for the well-being activities and affirmed their necessity. So we need to do it, folks. We absolutely need to do it. We have a framework that's available for us. This is in the folder that you got, this entire presentation. There's QRs in here. I'm not going to pull them up now because there's a bunch. So you can have those available to you. This morning, I put lots and lots of goodies in that resource folder for staff well-being. You can feel free to reach out to me. I'd be happy to share with you more stories of how they did this work, but basically, they followed the framework. My job was to guide them, to keep them on track, but also to provide inspiration. So if you're a district leader or a principal, school leader in this school, or somebody that really has the capacity or the desire to really empower your staff and get people excited about this, get this started. We need to do it. It is not just another thing, it is foundational, right? It's working. They're doing it. You can do it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kat. Staff well-being certainly is a focus area, something that is important to all of us. I think we got some great resources from you, so thank you for sharing that. I'll play with that in just a second. Just so many great things. Fidelity, authenticity, intentionality. I think that really grounded us in the amazing things that we can really do for our teams. We all really thought about why we're here today and what we can bring back for our staff. Thank you for sharing more about the research that's really behind this work and the outcomes that we can really have on impacting not just our staff, but really the whole child. We recognize that staff are experiencing burnout at such high rates with the job, and it often really is related to that high stress. Studies are showing the correlation between that high teacher and staff burnout and lower student academic performance. So to know that we can really have an impact on that with these wonderful things that you've shown us today gives me such hope. And it really is a strategic necessity, because when staff are thriving, students can really thrive. The resources are there. Thank you for putting all those goodies in there for us. And we can all take those things with us back to our districts as well, and really embed the practices of supporting our staff so that we can really support our students. We will get to see more of Kat in our next session, so thank you and stay tuned. We are going to get into our morning break. Before we do that, and I promise we will give you the full 20 minutes, we want to just continue to promote the idea of 120 seconds of wellness, the idea that we've been promoting throughout the many years of the summit. So as we head into our morning break, we really want to promote this idea of 120 seconds of wellness. Who doesn't have 120 seconds to spare? And really focus on your own personal wellness. It's a small gift to yourself, your staff, your students. It shows that you care in this space. It cares for you. It cares for yourself. So what could you do in 120 seconds? You could hydrate. You could rethink your drink. You could stretch at your chair. You could take a mindful moment. You could take a few deep breaths to relax and reset. We are also going to show you a little 2-minute video. I'm going to bring a friend up here in just a minute. If you need to check out of the hotel, you could also get that done. It is 10:15. So we are going to come back at 10:35. And John, if you'll cue up the video, and Abby Mars, if you'll come up and share with us what we're seeing. We're going to take our morning break. And thank you. I brought the wrong paper up. For all of my food service friends in the room, if you got your raffle ticket, or if you didn't get your raffle ticket, make sure you get that in the back. We're going to raffle away some really cool posters when we get back from our break. And let's see this really cool video about carrots. You want to tell us about it?
Okay, little backstory before we start. So I'm Abby Mars. I am a regional garden coordinator with CalFresh Healthy Living UCCE. There's my team over here. Woohoo! So a little backstory on this. This was actually taken back in December of 2021, right after students were all coming back to school post-COVID. What happened is back in the spring of the last school year, we did a harvest on carrots, and some of them, the stems broke off and they got left in there. And then we did our spring-summer crop of tomatoes. They were buried under it. And then I started looking around, preparing our December bed clearing to plant before winter break. And I decided, there looks like there's a really big carrot potentially right here. So I chose a first grade class to come out, and I put it on our Hap Good School garden page, and I want you to enjoy it.
Thanks. Check it out.
This is our why, by the way. This is why we're doing what we are.
Let's see how big it is. Keep digging. Keep digging.